Hey, friends! Friends of Old Man Brad and friends of the Real Feels podcast.
Hey, that's me.
We are back with another update for our hashtag 100 Days of Horror. We've hit the middle point, Drew. We've hit 50. We're at day 50 out of the 100. We're halfway home.
Halfway there.
That's right.
Oh.
We're here to give just a little update for what we've been watching since we talked to you at 25 days. So we'll give you a little, the next 25 update, the halfway point update. How's this 25 been going for you? I know you've done a lot of series watches.
I have been wrapping up and finishing the Friday the 13th franchise, which did include Freddy vs. Jason.
That one I have not watched yet.
Of course, the 2009 remake. But more importantly, like going through the absurdity of some of the Friday the 13th movies has just been glorious again. Like in Jason X, getting Frozen face smash, which is hands down one of my top, I know just as yours, top 5 kills in horror.
So good.
Jason Goes to Hell. Great tent kill.
Yes.
And it's still fun. Going from Friday the 13th, going into Halloween right now. So just recently last night, watched Halloween Resurrection, which again, it's one of those films where you're like, why? Why is this happening? Why is this here?
You get Busta Rhymes trying to fight Jason or Michael Myers. Michael Myers.
Michael Myers Kung Fu.
Yeah, I started the Friday the 13th watch through with you. I haven't done Freddy vs. Jason or the remake, but I threw in 2 fan films in my watches.
You did. I'm very intrigued about those, though. So I might have to backtrack a little and watch some of those.
And the fan films are called Vengeance, and Part 2 is Vengeance Part 2 Bloodlines. These fan films continue the Tommy Jarvis story, who was played by originally Corey Feldman. And they got the actor who played Tommy in, is it part 6? I believe it's part 6. That's the one where he gets resurrected with the lightning, right? The lightning rod in the chest.
Right.
Yeah.
That's part 5.
Is that part 5?
Part 6 is Jason Lives.
That is part 6. They resurrect him because part 5 isn't Jason. Spoiler alert.
It's not Jason, but the beginning of it,
but it does have that actor in it,
right?
The same actor.
A new beginning does have Corey Feldman in the beginning.
Yes, Corey Feldman, and then the actor
the dream sequence
who takes over as older Tommy, who is in 5 and 6.
He's at that weird like halfway home, not really a halfway home.
Yeah,
the wrong term,
but they brought back the actor who played the older Tommy in those 2 films for these fan films. And kind of continue his family line. Like there's a lot of connections to other families in the series. And it has some pretty brutal kills. And it has the, sleeping bag kill a little kind of elevated, stepped up a little bit. And it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I mean, the acting is not the greatest. It's a fan film, some of it, but man, some of the kills and everything else, I quite enjoyed them quite a lot. That's the only series I watched.
I've been kind of sneaking in. I mean, outside of 100 Days of Horror, I'm one movie away from catching up with all of the Children of the Corn. And I'll tell you right now, they should have stopped a while ago. They should have stopped.
I've seen some other people online going through the series, and a lot of what I've heard is they should have stopped at 3.
Man, 3 is Urban Harvest.
And how many are there?
Harvest isn't that bad. There, Jesus Christ.
Is there like 12, 13 of them? Maybe
there's more? At least 10.
Okay. Because there was one that just came out recently.
Right. The one that was stuck on the shelf for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are 11.
Okay. Still, there's
11.
That's an undertaking to jump into that. Like you've had a lot of series just all around being watched for you.
Right. And that's also true as well. Like, I mean, if we're going to go outside the realm of the series, I think one that was not what I was expecting, but I also was really pleasantly surprised with how happy it made me to watch the movie itself, and that was Frankenstein's Army on Tubi.
I don't think
I
have it on my list, but I've never watched it.
No, you watched it.
Did
you
I?
watched it because I saw that you gave it a review.
Oh yes, I did see it. I know the one that I'm thinking of that I never. It's on my list, but I haven't watched is Monster Brawl.
Oh yes, I also have that on my list as well. Frankenstein's Army. I was so into it, like just the creatures that were being made, and like the mission that they were on, and just like how haphazard and crazy it was with them crawling through all the dead bodies, finding the machines who are just doing like the day-to-day job, but if they get interrupted, then they suddenly come for you. And I remember I texted you, I said, like, dude, imagine if this was a video game. Imagine if this was like a Silent Hill kind of like crawl and walk through first person, like you need to find the secrets of this, this scientist.
Yeah.
You need to shut down this secret laboratory that's like hidden beneath a church.
That'd be pretty fun.
I think it would have been great.
Especially if you make it very atmospheric and kind of like dark.
Oh,
100%.
Creepy. 100%. Insert evil laugh here.
I've watched, I did finally watch Insidious: The Red Door. Because I know we watched the Insidious movies either the first time or last time. But I thought it was okay. It was
fine.
It kind of was very slow go. And when I got to the ending, I was like, okay, this is fine. This is fine, but it didn't like blow me away.
The ending has a nice little bow put on it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it tied up their story and everything else.
It did. But I was so not disappointed because I know exactly why they were doing it. But like the color palette for the film, for its lighting, it's so dark throughout the entirety of the film. And I know that's to hide and make sure that you have like an atmosphere that's more creepy than actually like putting stuff there. But it seems so not out of place because I can feel that it's right. But it's disheartening because you wanted more and you're not being given the visuals of.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes me a little like disappointed in the film.
Well, it makes me wonder if someone like bringing back Lee Wanell or James Wan could have stepped it up a little bit more, because I know Patrick Wilson directed this one. Not that he did a bad job, but
not at all.
It just needed it needed a little bit more to it, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
And along the same lines, I watched The Boogeyman, the one that just came out,
I want to see that. I've heard disappointing things, but I'm intrigued to see it.
It was the same way as Insidious: Red Door. Like, it was fine, but it just, you were like, oh, okay, had some cool moments and this was cool, but it didn't do anything new or really, you kind of wanted more from it. And you're like, I want more of this. I'll tell you one I did see that everyone needs to track down when it finally is released on streaming or VOD or whatever. And that is Slaughterhouse.
I must see Slaughterhouse.
It's an absolute blast.
It looks great.
A horror comedy with a killer sloth. Come on, guys.
Yes.
And they did a really, really good job with it. It's cheesy. Some of the acting, of course, it's indie. It's but for a low budget indie, it's actually pretty well done. So I was impressed with it and really look forward to it getting released at home. I went to the theater and saw it. They did like a one night only screening, and I'm like, I just have to see this killer sloth. Did you anything else that you did weaved in there besides some?
I mean,
series?
mainly my 100 Days of Horror has been the series. Honestly,
okay.
At least for the last couple. I think. Well, okay. Since the last time, I also did watch The Lake Trench 11. I watched the sequel to The Messengers. Do you remember that one with?
Oh yes, is it Kristen Stewart?
Yeah,
yeah.
Except this one has Norman Reedus, and you're like, man, Daryl, this should be great.
I think I watched that one last year during our watch.
It was not good. You gave it a 2.
Yeah, I just thought it was fine.
I gave it a 1. I was not impressed. I was not impressed with it at all.
Did you watch the first one right before the second one, or you just jumped?
I did. I did, and it was not bad to rewatch that. I thought it was fine. I remember watching it way back when it came out, and I really liked just the little kid wandering around, like following the ghost that's crawling on the wall and the ceiling and pointing. I don't know. I like that. I distinctly remember the stain on the wall that the mom keeps trying to get out of the wallpaper, and the dead mother just like materializes, like just shifts through it. I remember that so distinctly, and I'm like, that was awesome. That was a really cool scene.
It's been a while since I've seen the first one, but I remember enjoying the first one. And the second one, like I said, the second one's fine.
Yeah, other than that, it's just been Friday the 13th and Halloween. Yeah.
Another one I just watched recently that I'm hosting a screening of this week is an anthology film called Satanic Hispanics, which was actually really, really good.
That sounds amazing.
It has, some directors that we love, like Mike Mendez, who did Big Ass Spider and Lavalantula.
Yep.
It has Eduardo Sanchez, one of the creators of the Blair Witch Project. He did one. Gigi Saul Guerrero, who did the movie Bingo Hell. I don't know if you saw that on Amazon Prime.
I've seen Bingo Hell.
With Richard Brake. Mm-hmm. Who are the other two? The director of Juan of the Dead, which I have never seen Juan of the Dead. I need to add that to my list to watch.
I still need... Is it One of the Dead or like One Cut of the Dead?
Juan of the Dead.
I need to see both.
Yes, there is a One Cut of the Dead. Yeah, I need to see both also. And then the director of Terrified... I haven't seen that either.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
They're all Latino directors. There's 5 different little stories weaved in. Of course, there's one story that kind of brings them all together, and I thought it was really well done. Some of them are funny, some are pretty serious, and it was just good.
I know the image of Terrified.
Yes, the cover.
But I have not watched it, but I know what it is.
Yeah. But I just watched that and absolutely loved it. Can't wait to see it on a big screen this week. Anyone who's in Cincinnati, come out to the Esquire on the 15th and come watch it with me.
Go hang out with Brad.
Any you have on the list for our next 25 that you might be like, you know what?
In time for the next 25, I will definitely be I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to fit it into the 100 Days of Horror, but I'm definitely going to watch A Black Girl and Her Monster.
Yes, that's on my list. As soon as it drops on Shudder, I'm going to watch it.
And something I vowed never to do, but then I kind of just reconsidered because I realized, 1, I'm doing the franchise. 2, I can't limit myself from something just because I know that it's not going to be my cup of tea. But I will be watching the Rob Zombie Halloweens.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen them. I have avoided them, but they will be happening.
I know this is going to be sacrilege, and some people might hate me, but I really enjoyed the first one of his films. I thought it was pretty good. Second one, not so much, but that's one I haven't seen since the theater, so maybe I need to revisit. Maybe it could be better now, but I don't know. But the first one, I truly did enjoy it quite a bit. All I kind of have is I've been deciding if I want to dive into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series again, rewatch.
I think it's worth it.
And I plan on rewatching the 1031 anthology films.
Yes.
Again, but I don't think I'm going to start those until October, just because they're called 1031. They feel like they need to be watched in October. And this week I'm going to watch the Spirit the Halloween movie. I haven't Spirit Halloween, the movie. I haven't watched that yet. I know it's going to be cheesy and stupid, and I haven't heard great things, but I want to see it.
It is cheesy. It is stupid. I will say that there are parts where I was genuinely entertained, but overall, I kind of was left with, I expected more.
Okay.
Because it was Spirit Halloween.
It's fair.
I mean, they got Christopher Lloyd, so maybe that's where all the money went.
Maybe. All the money went to him, and they're like, okay, we got one store to shoot in tonight. Let's get it done. Hey, everybody. As we head out, I have an amazing new promo And this is for a Stephen King book. So horror kind of goes along with the whole thing we just talked about. Own your copy of Holly, Stephen King's new suspense novel, now available wherever books are sold. Holly Gibney, one of Stephen King's most compelling and ingenuously resourceful characters, returns in this thrilling novel to solve the gruesome truth behind multiple disappearances in a Midwestern town. So I'm going to have ebooks of Molly to give away soon. Just make sure you keep it right here at Old Man Brad to find out how you could win yourself a copy. How about we reconvene again in 25 days and see where our watches are at?
Big 75.
Yeah. 75 will be our next update. Drew and I will be back together for that. So make sure you subscribe to either of our shows, wherever you're listening to this, or subscribe to both of them.
I think both. I think they should get a twofer.
Old Man Brad and the Real Feels Podcast. Subscribe. Yeah. All right, Drew. So until next time, I will talk to you later.
Sounds like a plan.
See you, everybody.
Bye.